Hi, it's me again with CorelDraw Tips and Tricks. Somebody sent me this file. They cut out leather and they want to put this border around this leather. And I don't know if it's on the inside or outside or right on the line, but that's for him to figure out after I do this. And I first saw it and I thought, there's no way. Well, there is a way, and it came out pretty good. I mean, even the corners that I thought were no way, I mean, there's a little bit maybe you could clean up, and I'm off just a hair up top, but I've already sent him the file, and I think with a little tweaking, you could get it pretty. Now, this might take more than one video because of the fact that it needs a lot of work, because everything's not perfect. And for this, I think, to work, everything needs to be perfect. Look at this. Look at the amount of nodes not necessary on this. We're going to deal with that in a second, but first we're going to change this. I'm going to hit P and put it in the center of the page. He's got it linked together pretty good. He actually said he tried the artistic media brush. But if you're going to engrave this, and here's number one thing. I do not understand why you have your, and I don't, it's only my opinion, why you have a box fill in automatically. So I'm going to double click on your box and put no fill. Now, and then hit OK. Now, same thing here. You draw in hairline, that's fine, but I would draw in red. But that's my personal preference because red hairline signifies a cut line. So now when we draw a box, I can fill it with yellow. I can go to back or object, put it in the back of the page, and you see the white. Now this is evidently a vector graphic, but it's got some problems, you know, on the outside if you're going to try to fit these together. So what we can do while it's still in yellow, I'm going to go up here and go to object and group and ungroup it. And then I could find and replace to remove all the white, but there's not that much white. White sometimes, and maybe even worse on leather, could engrave. I'm also going to get rid of some of the, you could just kind of play with it. It looks pretty good. I don't understand all the lines, but see how it's jagged? You can't, if we're going to fit this together, we can't fit it together like that. Now that I've got the white, I can take this away. I'm going to Control G to group it back together. But what I'm going to do is I want to clean this thing up. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my box again and I'm going to smart fill it this time with whatever color. He has blue selected maybe. And I'm going to move it out of the way. Then I'm going to move that out of the way and I'm going to left click, right click, and I get this outline. Now, this is in the center of the page, but I can just nudge it over. Now I'm going to nudge this over and I want to clean this up because if it's going to fit together, so this side to me looks better than, well, this is a straight line, but that's easily fixed. I'm going to get a two-point line, and I do this a lot. I call fixing half of it. And you can see that the drawing's not even in the middle. So what we're going to do, the first thing I'm going to do is move my line to the middle of his drawing, because we're going to make it the middle. And I don't like this one at all. So I'm going to take the virtual segment delete key and I'm going to delete this side. Now I can work on this side. And because this is going to be a flat edge, and I'm trying not to remove nodes that don't need to be removed, I need a flat edge for this one to match up to when we put it together. Or semi-flat. I mean, because we're going to use a thicker line, but I'm going to grab both these nodes and I'm going to right click and turn it into a line. Now I can remove some of these nodes. So I've got a pretty good shape. You could change your shape, but I don't think in this case it really matters. Now, because I'm on the line, I think in all cases, and I'm not. So I want to change that. And that really doesn't matter, I don't think. So I'm going to delete that line. And I'm going to take the Smart Fill tool and fill that in. I'm going to nudge it down. I'm going to control, or I'm going to left click, right click. I am going to control D, but I'm going to check, and he's got his setting on 4 inches. He's intentionally done that on some reason, but I'm going to set mine on 0, 0. Control D. While holding down the control button, move it over. Delete this line. Now, I don't know if it's going to leak, and I don't want it to leak, so I'm going to do a box. And then this way, if it leaks, it won't matter. Now I'm going to move that out of the way, and I can get rid of all this. I'm going to left click, right click, and right click in red, and I'm going to put that in the center of the page. I'm going to nudge this back. I'm going to use this graphic, but I want my outline. And you can see that the graphic is off. And if you look, when I clicked on it, I've only got the red hairline. So I'm going to move it out of the way for a second. And basically, I can move that over, click on this and move that over. So now I can take the Shift tool and just kind of spread it out, where now I have all red lines in the middle. I'm going to take this and I'm going to intersect it. Going to take just a second. But now I want to nudge, because I want this outline, but I want it to be black, and I want it to be something other than a hairline, and even a half a point of this scale is too big, so I'm going to go 0.25. And then I can nudge that over, and I can group this together. Control G. Now I'm going to just get rid of this one. So there's our object, and if you look, and if I rotate it 90 degrees, and I measure with, because it's a vector, I can measure nodes, and because I worked in the center of the page, we got 0.09. Let me make sure that looked awful off. No, 0.09. So now what I can do is set my nudge factor on 0.09, and I can make a duplicate of this. Well, Control D. Went down. I'm a little bit off. That's a little bit concerning. Maybe I messed with those angles a while ago. And I did. So we're going to have to basically back up. This is why, one of the reasons I keep my videos shorter, because I hate to go too far and then have a problem. So we're going to fix that right now. When this turns into a hairline, I am going to take this, and if we remember it, well, let's measure it now, because now we can get a better measurement with the parallel dimension tool. We're still at 0.09. So I'm going to set my nudge factor on 0.09. I can nudge it down, and see, that's what we're off. I don't want it to be off. I want it to be dead on. So what I can do is take my nodes and just bring them up to there, bring that one up to there, bring that one up to there. Now we're going to have to redo the shape, but now if we do 0.09, you see I've got a match. Now I'm going to just completely, I think this is the original, and this was the one I had with a line. I think it looks good anyway. I'm going to hit P. I'm just going to move that out of the way and hit P. And I'm going to have to grab it again. I do not want to move my red. I want to grab the black. And I think if I just nudge it, let's go with like 0.01, because I don't want to take away too much of the graphic. Boy, even 0.0, so 0.001. And then a lot of times in engraving, you're going to use that small. So I'm not going to be able to do it. I'm going to have to stretch it, holding down the shift key to stretch it. I just want it all inside that red boundary, and it's really close. I think we have it. Now I'm going to intersect it. And it takes just a second because it's doing a lot of work. And then we can, I don't want to do that. Let me just delete that. I need to set my nudge factor on like 2 inches, or 2 inches. And I'm going to intersect it again because I want to be able to nudge that line back over. What happened to my, 2 inches is a lot. Let's start over. Well, let's don't start over. Let's back up. You don't realize when you're working so small. I just misread that point. So I'm going to go 0.2, and I'm going to intersect it one more time. I promise this will be the last. When that circle quits thinking, I can nudge it over there, but I want this line. And I want this line to be black, and I want this line to be 0.25. I want that. Control G to group. So this is taking a lot of work and a lot of time, so I'm going to rotate it and just figure out if I'm right. We'll set our nudge, and then I'm going to make a second video, 0.09, Control D, and now they match up. And then we're going to make as many as we want. So stay tuned for part 2, because we're going to have to clean this up because of all the excessive nodes to make it a smooth transition, in my belief anyway. I hope that helped him and maybe somebody else in the future, and thank you for watching.